Hello, Professor Musa. I'm Sultan Arifin Khan, and I'm the coordinator for this project, Project A2. And this is our group, Area42. This is Glenn, Etienne, Rez, Billy. So my task for this assignment was to be the coordinator and also to do task 4. In task 4, we used ARM assembly programming and the Raspberry Pi to complete task 4. One of the things I learned in this assignment were to assemble link a file to get the executable and to run the file. And I also learned that GDB is the best tool to study assembly programming. And how will I use this? How will I use what I learned in this project in my future assignments and job is that I learned as a coordinator to communicate with my members and learn about the strengths and weaknesses and utilize them for the betterment of the project. And I also learned a lot about ARM assembly programming, so I will use that for my future assignments and tests, and also it will help me for my future jobs. My most challenging part was using the debugger to examine the contents of the memory and register in the ARM assembly programming. So now I'll pass it to Glenn.
Hello. I also helped with Khan with the ARM assembly and programming and everything there. And what I learned was Khan, he came up with a lot of great questions on why we were doing it the way that we did, and the difference between loading and moving function, which are very similar to each other, but moving it's like a shortcut with a lot more limitations to it than the loader is. And then also we learned to be curious and to figure out what we were actually trying to do and understand the variables that came up on the screen, especially when we went into the memory and we figure out those 3 variables and what that all meant. How I would use this in my future project is if I am coding again or doing something similar to coding in a future project, I will try to still be curious and understand what I'm doing and not just putting numbers and variables down on the screen. Also, I will use this for my future project and helping my fellow mates out.
Hey Professor, my name is Etienne Stuckey. For this project A2, I worked on task 3, part A, which involved creating a C program that displays a given number of threads and in what order they are executed. And I also learned about parallelism versus sequential computing. And how I plan to use this is making myself a more effective programmer in the future, seeing as the whole entire field is shifting more towards parallel computing. Go ahead, Rez.
Hello, Professor. My name is Rez. So for this project, me and Etienne, we work on task 3. I took care of part B from task 3, and I learned more about the parallel programming. And in this task we had two different codes. The first one, when I executed, the output was a little bit different than the second one. But the second code was basically the corrected code for the first code. So I learned how the data works and how the output change when we change something specific or a value in our code. And for my future, I can use this task to know how to work with parallel programming and also the assembly. It is helping me more to understand the concept of the codes and how they work, and be better coder for the next projects. And the hardest part of this task, I would say maybe meeting up, because me and Etienne, we couldn't really meet up this time, but we finally had a time to meet up after like a week. So I think this part, for this project, the time was kind of like the hard part for me. Really.
Hey, my name is Billy, and I did the planning and scheduling, collaboration, and the final report. And for this project, I've created a project page on GitHub. In it, I separated our project into 3 columns. The first column is named To Do, and the second column is named In Progress. The third column is named Finish, and by doing this, we're able to increase teamwork efficiency. I will use GitHub in my future classes and jobs, and in addition to learning GitHub, I've also learned organization skills. By assigning responsibilities and due dates on GitHub, we're able to avoid procrastination, miscommunication, and inefficiency. And I will use these organization skills in future jobs and when I have to manage future projects. And the best thing about this project is learning how to use the GitHub platform, because it's the most popular developer platform out there. And I know that I'll be using it a lot in my future programming classes and jobs.
Okay, so this was our presentation for Project A2. So thank you very much, Professor Musa and our project instructor. Signing off.
42!
42.
42.